Hey folks, Ray Bessette from raybessette.com, here with another episode of Fitness Through Science and Not Fiction. Today's subject is about all those people that have got stuck. They've done everything that they know possible to get to their goals, whether it be gaining muscle, losing fat, or a combination of both. Let's go ahead and take the combination of both. And being healthy. Being healthy is just a side effect of losing fat weight and maintaining or building muscle, whatever your goal is. I have three components that I'd like to go over today. And the three components here: personal training or weightlifting, nutrition, okay, your food intake, and then hormones. Okay, those are the three main factors of what you're going to look like externally or internally also, and how you're going to feel. Those three components are it. That's it. So let's go ahead and take the personal training or weight training. Why aren't I saying anything about doing cardio, like the treadmill, stair step, elliptical, bike? Why is that not number one on my priority list? Well, cardio has its place. Now, if your goal is to lose fat, number one thing that you need to do is a blood test would help, because you need to know if you're insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, or diabetic. That means you have sugar in your blood all the time. In order to get rid of that sugar, to burn fat, you have to get rid of the sugar first to burn the fat. Now, sugar in your body is not your body's source or first source of energy. Your body prefers fat for energy, but in the presence of sugar, it'll always use sugar. Okay, so we got to assume that if you're on the standard American diet, which is just basically grocery shopping as healthy as you can or think you are in a grocery store, there's a lot of hidden sugars in food, and the manufacturers they'll use a chemical. Now, a chemical is just as bad as a sugar, because, and again, sugar's not bad as long as it's not an overload of it. Okay, so if you approach a non-sugar diet, you're probably going to be about average as far as getting sugar, because there's so many hidden sugars. So if you look at something that says sugar-free, there should be a red flag, because if it's sugar-free, that means it's not chemical-free. Okay, it might have aspartame. There's a lot of other chemicals that go in there that are just as bad as not worse, because they slow down or stop a metabolic process. So your liver and your kidneys, your infiltration system, has to work twice as hard to get rid of that chemical, all right, in order for you to lose fat. Okay, so that's how come if you drink diet soda all the time, which has 0 calories. By the way, what's a calorie? That's where I'd start. A calorie is the measurement on how fast something burns, or raising the temperature 1 degree Celsius. Okay, so if a Diet Coke has no calories, then it burns real fast. Okay, fat has 9 calories per gram. 9 calories per gram. So, God, I wouldn't want to eat fat. Well, if you knew fat didn't turn to fat, not saturated or unsaturated fat, good fats. All right, trans fat doesn't count. All right, trans fat is a chemical. All right, so fat can't turn to fat, and protein or muscle can't turn to fat. All right. Anyway, so the goal of weight training is to stimulate the muscle. Well, let me go back. The purpose of exercise is not to burn as many calories as you can. The purpose of exercise is to stimulate the muscle, to send a message to your body that you're breaking down muscle and you need to repair it. In order to break down muscle, the sugar for energy is being used. So you deplete your storage of glycogen. You deplete that, which is a stored form of glucose. You deplete that, and it needs to be replenished. So the sugar in your blood can replenish that muscle, and then it'll clean up your blood of sugar and insulin. Insulin again is, and if you've watched some of my previous episodes, when you have high levels of insulin in your blood, you can't burn body fat no matter what you do. Insulin makes things grow. For bodybuilders, it makes muscle grow. For a regular person on the street, it makes fat grow. Okay, so one of my first goals for a client is to make sure that their blood is pretty much sugar-free, so they can use fat for energy and not sugar. Okay, and the way to do that is to lift weights. Most people what they do is they restrict their calories, which is a no-no. Then they get on the treadmill and they try to do cardio, which again is another no-no. Cardio has no metabolic effect. So once you leave the gym, whatever calories you burn in the gym, that's it, you're done. It takes 3,500 calories to burn a pound of fat. 3,500 calories. To put that in perspective, if you want to play the calorie game, which I don't do, but let's just humor this for a second. 500 calories that you expend in the gym times 7 days a week would be 3,500 calories, which would be a pound of fat. Now, I don't know anybody that works out 7 days a week. I don't. And also to burn 500 calories, that's vigorously working out on cardio equipment. I don't see too many people doing that for 7 days a week for at least an hour a day. Okay, and that's just in cardio. So if you want to take that route, God bless you. My route's a lot easier. 3 days a week for an hour, weight train. We don't do anything ballistic. We don't do any CrossFit. We don't run around, jump through hoops, turn over tires, or climb up ropes. That's crazy. I'm too old for that. I don't need to do that. All I do is stimulate muscle, let it work. My body is smart enough to work on its own. It's been doing that for 40,000 years. I'm not 40,000 years old, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's use our bodies to help ourselves out rather than working so hard. I see people in the gym, they're just sweating and straining, and I'm like, I don't see any difference. I've been at the same gym for almost a year now, and I see the same people, and I want to say struggling because they're working out so hard and they're not getting anywhere. They're not seeing results. They're not seeing results because they're not using it. Their fitness program, if you want to call it that, is ballistic. It's just all over the place. They don't have any kind of routine. And if they do have a routine, they're doing the same thing over and over again looking for a result. And it just isn't going to happen. Because to see a change, you have to make one. Okay? Mine's pretty simple. You do upper body one day, you do lower body the next, you do upper body the next day. 3 days a week. So it'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you have enough time to recover. If muscles don't recover, they can't grow. Or they can't maintain. Or you can't burn fat. You get into a overtraining zone, and that's worse than undertraining. Okay, so weight training is your number one bang for the buck. I'm not saying anything about cardio that's a bad thing. You should do that in conjunction with the weight training, but use weight training as the number one source of your fat burning mechanism in your body. Okay, let's move on to nutrition. I'm getting recertified in 3 of my national certifications, and I'm going through courses, and one's a nutrition course, and I'm just shaking my head. I'm not sure I could do this. They're talking about going fat-free and looking at labels for things that are fat-free or less fat or unsaturated or saturated fat. Get all the saturated fat out. And I'm like, my God, are we back in the 70s or 80s when we went through all that? No, it doesn't work that way. Fat's your good guy. You will die if you don't have fat and protein. And fat can't turn to fat, not this kind of fat, the good fat, either saturated or unsaturated. Okay, unsaturated, an example would be coconut oil, would be a good one. Flaxseed oil, another good one. Primrose oil, those are good ones. Bad oils would be canola oil, number one hit list, bad. The other one would be soybean oil, something you would get in a restaurant. Believe me, they cook soybean oil. Now, even if the food that you did order was good in a restaurant, once they cook it at 360 degrees in soybean oil, it would be stripped of all nutrients if it had anything in it. And not only that, you've got the soybean oil as an adulterated omega-6, which is unsaturated fat, and that's what really causes heart disease. Okay, it's not cholesterol. There's no cholesterol in a clogged artery. Okay, don't believe me? Look it up. I've got everything referenced. Okay, so anyway, so fat's your good guy. Protein can't turn to fat either. So it's going to be used for structure in your body. Both of these guys, structure in your body somewhere. If you overeat, it's going to find its place. All right. The only thing that's going to get you fat, bingo, is carbohydrates and/or sugar. Carbohydrates is a long word for sugar. Those are the guys in excess. Now, your muscle loves sugar, but in an excess, if you're not lifting weights, then your sugar is going to be more likely be stored as fat. It turns into a triglyceride. If it's not burned off, then it's going to be stored as fat. It's going to find a nice little comfortable place on your body where you're genetically disposed to have it stored. Now, for men, usually it's gender, or it could be gender bound. It could be for men above the waist and women below the waist. Guys get the beer gut, women get the big butt. Okay? So in order to get rid of those things, and you will get rid of them, you have to have consistency, you have to have patience, and you have to give it time. Nobody wants that. They want that fast. They want a pill. Well, that's fine. Go ahead and take your pills. Sooner or later, you're going to look me up and you're going to say, you know what? He was right. Maybe I should stop, get educated on my body, because this is the temple of my life. Everything is going to stem what I look like, what I feel like. Okay, if you're a royal B-I-T, you know what, C-H, okay, well, then you did that to yourself. Okay, I'm giving you the tools to get away from that, to actually to either lose fat, gain muscle, or do both, and to feel good about it and not be on a death sentence walking the green mile on some stupid diet that's not going to work anyway. Let me ask you something. Turn me off if you've already gone on a diet and it's worked. Well, if it hasn't, then you better stay tuned for the hormones coming up. Okay? Hormones. How important are hormones? Well, some doctors say that hormones cause cancer. Really? Do you know that your hormones are the greatest when from 13 to 25? I say the greatest. Their levels are the highest it's ever going to be. Now, most people, or kids, or young adults, do not die because they have an abundance of hormones in their teens or in their 20s. They die when they're my age, 50, 60, 70, and on years old, when their hormones have left them. It's almost like a fly lives for, 2 weeks. One of the reasons why Mother Nature kills off a species is because they can no longer reproduce. Well, guess what happens as we get older? We can't reproduce. So what good are we to our species? I hate to put it that way, guys, but it is what it is. All right. So as we decline in our hormones, the more than likely we're going to start dying of not related to hormones, but to other diseases that our kidneys get older, our liver gets older, our infiltration system gets older, so our ability to digest food, over the age of 40, you lose half of your enzymes. So how important is nutrition? How important are hormones? How important is weight training? Very. Okay, if you're not doing those three components, now you know why you're stuck. Okay, but I have an answer for everything. The blood test we do to find out where your hormones are. Test for estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and free testosterone. Those are the big hormones. They're going to make you you. Okay. In women too, with testosterone, you start losing your muscle. This right here is going to burn about 45 calories a day. 1 pound of muscle. All right, so you times that as many pounds of muscle you have in your body. How can you tell how many pounds of muscle you have? Have a bioimpedance scale. Tell you how many pounds of muscle you have, how many pounds of fat you have, how many pounds of water you have in your body, what your water percentage is in your body, in pounds, and also what your body fat percentage is. I keep a record of that every week. When you come in, you step on the scale. It takes you less than 5 minutes. You put your shoes back on, and we go over your results, and we compare it to last week. All right, it's just another measurement. We also do measurements around, well, your clothes are the best measurement, really, okay? And the way people react to how you look. Look at these guys. I mean, these guys, I didn't just steal these pictures, okay? These are real clients of mine. If you've been paying attention and watching this, you're like, how the heck? Well, yes, because they followed my plan. Okay, anyway, moving along, we look at all the functions of the thyroid. TSH, which is a thyroid stimulating hormone. We look at T3, T4, reverse T3. I'll explain those later. I've done it in other videos. We also look at DHEA, which is a precursor to testosterone, your own natural production. We also look at insulin. How important is insulin? Well, it makes things grow. In bodybuilders, it makes muscles grow. There's a difference between a pro bodybuilder and a regular bodybuilder, like me. Or it makes fat grow. And this is mostly for your standard American person. Most people are going to grow fat because they have too much insulin in the body. And again, I mentioned earlier that if you have high levels of insulin, you can't burn fat no matter what you do. So if you don't clean up the insulin in your body, and the only way to find out if you have insulin in your body is to do a blood test, or at least confirm it. I mean, I can tell if you're over 30% body fat, more than likely you're going to be pre-diabetic. Okay, so I take kind of a scientific way to find out where you are, put you in that spot, and identify what we need to do to get you to your goals. All right. We also look at C-reactive protein. What that does, it's a measurement for inflammation. Inflammation is the #1 reason why you have conditions: diabetic, pre-diabetic, insulin resistant, high blood pressure, You know, all of those preventable diseases that you're probably taking medications for. You know, if you're taking a statin drug, you're going to block the coenzymes going to your mitochondria. Say this is your heart. You're going to slow down your heart by controlling your cholesterol. How does that make sense? I don't get it. Okay, and again, it's preventable, very preventable. And what does cortisol do? Well, cortisol provides oxygen to the cell membrane. It also builds hormones, promotes hormones. Oh my God, there you go again. See how this all intertwines together with nutrition, hormones, and weight training. All right, I'm the only one that does all three of them, puts it all together. You don't have to go to a doctor and have your blood test done. You can do it right here. I have my own doctors that get it. You don't have to go to a nutritionist, okay, that doesn't know what the doctor did and doesn't know what you're doing in weight training with a personal trainer. You got it all here. It only makes sense. Okay, it's a one-stop shop. You need those three components. Again, the personal training of the weightlifting, the nutrition, and the hormones. All those combined, you don't have to go there, or over here. It's all right here, waiting to get out to you. So give me a call or get on my website, Bessette.com. If you like what you saw, give me the old thumbs up right down below. If you feel that you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to me, okay? And I'll make it fun. But when you're ready to make that change, come see me. All the other things, the shake weights, the HCG diets, and all that stuff, just throw it on in the spare bedroom. Okay, get rid of all that stuff. I'm going to reprogram you to do it right this time. You'll get educated. I'm an educator. You'll get educated in the meantime, so you'll never have to do this again. Learn it one time, get it done right. Bessette signing out, and have a good day.